Good morning, everybody, and welcome to two very special editions of Out and About. First of them is now, and today we are out and about, but we don't know where to yet. But just recapping my good news from last Friday and Monday, and I've been happy all week. And joining me now in the studio for this very special occasion is Mark English. Good morning, welcome to episode 49.
Good morning, Barry, and to the viewers, of course. Welcome to a special Friday edition of Out and About, the Friday Follies. Anyway, as Barry said, we're not sure what we're up to yet today, but I'm sure that once we've had a few minutes to have a think about it, we'll have a plan.
Yep, so we did episode 47 and 48 on Tuesday, so this is episode 49 now. So, just giving you a bit of history about how Out and About originated. Well, like Mark and I said, we take the show out on the road, okay, and we take you to different places. Here's Mark now to tell you about it.
Yeah, so the plan is that when we have the days together to get out and about and get Barry out into the open and doing some interesting things, and it helps that you love the taxi drive as well, so it doesn't really matter how far we go, it's always fun. And then putting it on film so that other people can see what Barry's up to and how easy or not it is to get around, and hopefully give people some ideas about how to spend their time rather than feeling that they're stuck at home.
And don't say, oh, I don't want to do this, because that's negativity. That's why we want to show you people what we get up to, so that you poor things don't get bored at home. Here's Mark.
Yes, well, hopefully it inspires people to get themselves out and enjoy the same pastimes, but up close and personal rather than through the video.
So, like we say on the show, if you've got any way you'd like us to cover, please let us know. Here's Mark.
Yeah, absolutely. We're very keen to hear from viewers about their own experiences or what they'd like to see us try. Anyway, we're just relying on people to contact us, so give it a shot.
So get a pen and paper, write things down, address them to us. Here's Mark.
Yep, so I'm sure if you've watched the show before, you know that the studio address is 23 Mundy, Mundie Place, Bray Park.
And the postcode is 4500 and the state is Queensland. Here's Mark.
Yeah, so if you can, drop us a line. And of course, the other option is always to give Barry a call on his mobile, which is
0481 979 995. That's all you've got to do, guys. Here's Mark.
yeah. So if you can, please drop us a line. We'd love to hear from you, and hopefully get inspiration ourselves.
So, yeah, so if you're up in Queensland, guys, please do drop us a line. We'd really like to hear from you about what you'd like us to cover, what you'd like us to change, where you'd like us to go, where you'd like us to cover, that sort of thing. Here's Mark.
Yeah, it'd be valuable for us. Gives us a little bit more inspiration ourselves, and hopefully, if we had some suggestions, we'd be able to plan events in advance by some margin, which would be very good.
So please, get, we'd like to hear from you about what you'd like us to cover. Here's Mark.
Yeah, well, I think we've just about covered this section of getting people to contact us. So we should progress our story.
And tell us what you think of the show. Here's Mark.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to have a critique. We're up for all feedback, positive and negative.
So if you don't like something that we bang on about, nothing's wrong with that. Here's Mark.
Absolutely, you take out of it what you want, and if you disagree with things that we're saying, well,
all you've got to do is put it in writing, and we will scrap it from the show.
Or just ignore it.
Or just ignore it. But remember, don't be rude about it, guys. Here's Mark.
No, it's absolutely one of the things that we have hammered on about is being polite in all of your communications, regardless of what they're for, and just maintaining a nice positive tone and outlook.
Because the more polite you are, viewers, the better. Here's Mark.
Yes, that negative approach doesn't tend to put people in the right frame of mind to achieve outcomes, and tends to make most conversations combative. So, if you can keep it civil, all the better.
All the better. So what we'd like you to do is get a pen and paper and a bit of paper now and get writing. And send in a photo of who you are as well. Here's Mark.
Yeah, any contact would be good contact, as we've said. Just drop us a line and we'll see what we can do.
We can't promise anything, but you never know. Here's Mark.
Well, we'll try our best.
We can only try. Well, we're going to take a break now and come back. Welcome back to part 2 of Out and About. We are now going to plan where we're going to go today, considering it's just after 11, and today we're talking about the history of Out and About. Now, before Out and About, and began with Mark. I met him here in the studio. Here's Mark to tell you about it. Good morning once again. Welcome back to Out and About.
Thanks, Barry, and hello again, viewers. So, yes, it was a bit of a business meeting, the first one. There were a few of us here to meet you, and then get allocated the days that we're going to be out and about with you, and so got mine, which was for the Mondays, and our first Monday was what, the 21st or the 20th of May?
No, it was the 30th of May, actually.
There you go. I don't have a head for dates at all. So the 30th of May was the first time.
I did my first video on the Story Bridge. Now that was a challenge there. And we got bogged a couple of times. And by the way, this is episode 49, by the way, because we did episode 47 and 48 on Tuesday, the Soggy Tuesday, where we couldn't get a cab. So I'm basically out and about, guys, is where we bring the show to you. Here's Mark.
Yeah, so, and out and about, the title should give the content away, but it is designed to show you what Barry gets up to while he's out and about, tripping around the world and seeing sights, and talk about some of the issues that he has with transport and just getting around in general, and to look at those venues where it's possible to easily access with the wheelchair, and for Barry to be able to enjoy his time there.
So, before you go anywhere, guys, it is important to really ring up and find out where the accessibility is, or whether the place has got wheelchair access. Have they asked the person? Has it got an accessible cafe you can get to? Accessible bathrooms? Here's Mark.
Yes, obviously we need to know that all those facilities are going to be available if needed, and to make sure that it does seem that the electric wheelchairs have far greater restrictions on their mobility and places they can go compared to a non-electric wheelchair, simply because of the way they're designed. They tend to get stuck on slopes which are a little bit sharp. So if your entry and exit angles are close together, it has a tendency to get stuck in the middle. So, it is an important thing to understand that the electric wheelchair has far greater restrictions than the non-electric wheelchairs.
So, before you go, ring up and ask the person, is it accessible? Okay, are the curbs big enough for a wheelchair to get up? Here's Mark now.
Yes, the biggest issue seems to be getting up from the road back onto the footpath, and some of those ramps are just too sharp
or hideous
to get up. Yes,
That's just my way of putting it, unfortunately.
yes. Well, some of them are, very steep, and then others that you think the wheelchair looks like it'll.
Tip over.
Well, I was going to say it looks like it'll be all right. It definitely isn't. There's a small tolerance for angles when it comes to the wheelchair.
So always ask someone is wheelchair accessible, wheelchair friendly. Okay, is the bathroom wide enough to fit in? The doorways, etc. Here's Mark.
Yeah, so most venues do have websites where you can check all this out beforehand, and the city council actually has a fairly extensive guide of uh, parks with appropriate facilities, etc., and what the accessibility is like as well. So councils often have a fair degree of information about wheelchair access to different venues.
So don't just drive somewhere without checking it out first. Here's Mark.
Yes, the important part is to make sure that when you get there, that number one, you can actually get out and get into the venue that you want to get into, rather than arriving and finding out that you simply can't use the venue at all. So just do some preliminary checks.
Ring up, and do your homework, guys. Here's Mark.
Yeah, ring up, or these days nearly everything's online, and I'm sure people that are much more familiar with searching for things online don't have any trouble. I do tend to find that I end up ringing half the time.
So always check. Okay. Before you book the taxi to go anywhere, ring up. Okay. Because you don't want to be spending all that money on the taxi. Getting to your venue and thinking, oh my goodness, it's not accessible. Here's Mark.
Yes, that'd be a terrible waste of money and time. So, as Barry says, just do those preliminary checks and make sure that what you think you want to do, you can do.
Because it is important, guys, to really do your homework and work out how much it is going to cost you to get into the venue. Here's Mark.
Absolutely. So, if cost is an important consideration, then obviously you need to know what that is prior to going and what sort of access you've got. So, for instance, whilst the trains have wheelchair accessibility, not every station has wheelchair accessibility or the capacity to get wheelchairs from the platform onto the train. So there is a list of appropriate stations, and obviously you'd be restricted to using those stations. So it's not a totally flexible system, and just because one station has it for the access to the train doesn't mean that all stations have it. So that's the value in checking, is that you will be restricted by those stations which are appropriate.
So it's no good going willy-nilly, guys, and then thinking, I wasted all this time and money in the taxi because think before you go, guys, that it is really very important. Here's Mark.
Well, it certainly makes your life a lot easier to be organised. But, you know, it all depends on your sense of adventure. And, you know, if you don't mind not knowing and it doesn't faze you, you'll find a way around it.
Well, where there's a will, there is a way. Well, we're going to take a break and plan the rest of today's show now. This is episode 49 now, and here's Mark to tell you about it.
Yeah, so episode 49, and you know, we still haven't decided on where we're going to go today, so
We better get going
exactly right.
so we can bring the rest of the show to you. And remember, the number that we rely on 24 hours a day. Mark and I are going to be saying this to you every time. 000, please. Do not call that number for trivial, stupid issues, please. Here's Mark to close the 2 parts of our show with that.
Yes, thanks, Barry. Absolutely, 000 is an emergency number and is only for emergencies. And if they're dealing with other issues, they can't be dealing with the emergencies. So if ever you think you might need one, show the consideration that it deserves and that everybody else deserves, and leave that number free just for emergencies.
Because the wrong call that you make, guys, we will remind you of this at the end of today's show also. 000 is not a number to be mucked around with, because if the wrong call that you make, you could be taking an operator away from dealing with something that is an emergency. Here's Mark.
No, Barry, you're absolutely right. It does. That's the issue with pranking 000 or using it inappropriately. It puts other lives at risk,
Including mine, because I can't get to the hospital myself. Here's Mark.
It absolutely, it directly impacts you, Barry, but anybody that ever needs an emergency service have that ruined by someone taking up the time of those operators.
And don't tell them something that has happened when it hasn't. Here's Mark.
Any pranking at all, it doesn't matter what the nature of the pranking or wasting of time, it just shouldn't happen, full stop. So there's no point in making anything specific, it's just don't do it.
And it's the same with Don't Litter the Park. We will continue this today on the show. This is episode 49 now. Stay with us. You're with Mark English and Barry Fear. Thanks for joining us. Here's Mark.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll be back shortly.
We'll be back shortly. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Sharp Point. I'm Barry Fear. Thanks for joining us for Out and About today. And today we've been talking about the history of our show. And here's Mark now to tell you about. Good afternoon and welcome.
Thanks, Barry. Good afternoon to you and the viewers. And yep, so as Barry said, history of the show. We started in May when we had our first trip across the Story Bridge, and we've tried to keep it going ever since then.
And sadly, out and about will not continue in this format. Here's Mark to tell you about it.
Yeah, so with Barry's move back to Sydney, this part of Out and About, well, I suppose chapter, closes and a new one starts, so he'll be taking on some new tasks once he moves.
So, how we put Out and About together, well, you may have seen episode 46 later last month, okay? I put the show together by talking to you guys, talking about various topics, and when the call 000, stuff like that. Here's Mark.
Yeah, so put together a few topics and we sort of run them, and you know, as Barry keeps asking, you know, it'd be great to have someone write in and give us suggestions or feedback, so you're always looking for something new.
So please guys do write in. The address is 23 Mundy Place, Brave Park, Queensland 4500, and my mobile number is 0481 979 995. And I should point out to you that Monday is spelled N-U-N-D-I-E, not N-U-N-D-Y. And do remember to include your return address so that we can get back to you, and also your phone number. Here's Mark.
Yes, if you're shy, don't worry about it, because we'll be able to give you a shout out on the show. So no need for contact details if you don't want. We'll certainly be able to have a call out to you in the show itself.
So if you don't feel like writing in, guys, that is totally up to you, or phoning us, that is totally up to you. We totally respect your privacy as well. Here's Mark.
Absolutely. So, as Barry's always said, just write in, and you know, hopefully, as we said, you don't have to give us any contact details. It's perfectly anonymous. So send us a message.
Send us a message about what you'd like us to cover on the show, because it is perfectly okay to do this. Here's Mark.
Yeah, in fact, not only is it perfectly okay, we're keen for people to give us suggestions. So please, somebody, send us a message.
And doesn't matter whether you're in Melbourne, Sydney, Hobart, Perth, or anywhere. Here's Mark.
Yeah, absolutely. YouTube knows no bounds, apparently. So it really doesn't matter where you are, anywhere in the world.
We don't mind if you subscribe from the US or France or anywhere, or England or New Zealand, anywhere. Here's Mark.
As Barry said, we'll take people from anywhere. The beauty of YouTube, as I said, there are zero boundaries.
So the choice is up to you guys.
you don't have to ride in it if you don't want to. Here's Mark.
Well, I think we can move on from the topic of contacting us now. So, you know, please try. But, you know, what else shall we cover?
So the rules about the disabled taxis. Okay, you must always be honest with the cab driver. Tell him where you want him to go and where you want to be dropped off. Here's Mark.
Yep. So, stock standard issues or use of taxis, give them address, they take you there.
And make sure that you've got enough money with you or a credit card with some money on it. Here's Mark.
I'm assuming that everyone pays. Advocating doing the runner is not going to work. So obviously make sure you've got the funds to cover it.
Yeah, so enjoy your cab ride. And if you need change, ask the driver for it. Here's Mark.
I'm not sure why you're getting change from the driver. Is this change for your actual fare?
Well, if you've got a 50 high note.
Oh, yes. Yeah, well, taxis always carry cash, so, yeah, no problem.
So, moving on from taxis. We know that we'd like to make the show upbeat and interesting by bringing it to you. Here's Mark.
Yeah, so the purpose of bringing you the show is just to show you what Barry's up to and hopefully potentially inspire other people to get out and about and make the most of their free days. But of course, yeah, we recognise that there are significant issues with getting around and the restrictions that come with being in an electric wheelchair.
So, out and about, guys, has been going since the 30th of May. And we'd like to thank you for being a part of it. Here's Mark.
Yeah, thanks to everyone that tunes in. It's fantastic that Barry's been able to put together content that other people want to see, and hopefully we get a bit more viewer engagement. We might be able to spread that love a bit further.
So if you can watch our shows, guys, that'll be awesome. Here's Mark.
Yep, I can't add anything else to that. It'd be awesome for you to watch the shows. So, you know, I hope you enjoy them.
So, we're up to episode 49 now, and here's Mark.
Well, I don't know where we're going now with that, so I'm going to be quiet and let Barry speak.
So, episode 50 is coming up on Monday. Here's Mark.
So, episode 50 coming up Monday, and you know, obviously today is 49, so we hopefully we'll be able to bring you another scintillating show on Monday, which will be the 50th show.
So 50 shows, guys. What an achievement we've had. Here's Mark.
Yes, I had no idea at the start that this was going to be quite so prolific, but when you do it virtually every day, it starts to add up pretty quick.
So, the rules about putting a YouTube video together, okay, it must be appropriate. It must.
To be perfectly honest with the viewers, I know nothing about the rules of YouTube, so you're going to have to explain it to me along with them.
Okay, well, if you're going to make a YouTube video, it has to be accurate, fair, and appropriate. It can't have any swearing in it. So, if you want to make a YouTube video, guys, that is totally fine, but be careful how you put it together. Here's Mark.
Well, it sounds like apart from the swearing, you can pretty much do whatever you want.
So make sure your YouTube videos are upright and interesting. So you have to get permission first from Mum and Dad kids. You want to make a YouTube video or start a YouTube account. Well, the last thing on today's show is I'd like to thank you viewers for being a part of my life up in Queensland. And you know, you've brought me joy since I've been here. I've had a lot of things happen which I can't discuss on the show. We've been to Morgan's Seafood a couple of times. You name it, we've done it.
Yeah, it's been interesting getting around and seeing what's available as far as access is concerned when it comes to getting around in a wheelchair, and hopefully other people find this useful as well. So I'm sure Barry's going to continue it on in some form or another.
And I will. So you know, viewers out there in Brisbane and everywhere, thank you. I haven't gone yet, but I will be going very soon. Here's Mark.
Yes, we're waiting to have the meeting to start organising the details of getting Barry moved from Queensland to New South Wales, and I'm sure that it will not be a quick or simple process, and I'm sure it'll have lots of bugs and backwards and forwards and take us longer than expected, but that's almost to be expected.
And you can't always expect things to go smoothly, guys, so really be patient. Here's Mark.
I have to admit, I start the process with the mindset of disaster, and if things happen to go smoothly at any stage, that is an absolute bonus.
But like we said last time, be patient and it will all pay off.
Absolutely. It's about that, just keeping control.
Excuse me. So, stay to lose control, guys, and say, damn this. Here's Mark.
Yes, we've talked a lot about maintaining civility on the phone or when you're dealing with anyone face to face. and the value of being able to keep things civil, so that at least they can keep moving forward, as opposed to when you lose your temper and things get shut down.
But if you are rude to people, guys, you know, that's it. You know, you won't get the response that you need, the respect that you need, and that's all there is to it. Here's Mark.
Yeah, so as Barry just said, the issues that being rude creates are extensive, and one of the biggest issues. No, not that I know of. Why is he? Sorry about running away.
Sorry about that, everyone. So what we were saying, guys, please do not be rude because it doesn't cover much. Here's Mark.
It just sets everything back, it makes everything more difficult, and it is the opposite of maintaining control, civility and moving forward. So make up your own mind.
So the choice is up to you. You can either be rude or civil. Here's Mark.
So be rude or be civil, you'll get what comes of that. So if you're rude, not much comes of it that's positive. If you're civil, hopefully you get your issue sorted.
So if you got being rude, guys, okay, it doesn't cut the cake. Okay, really, honestly and truly, you will not get the response that you need. Okay, and you've got no one to blame but yourself. Here's Mark.
Yeah, just try and maintain decorum, even when you're faced with, I suppose, what seems like an insurmountably stupid level of bureaucracy that doesn't come with its own level of explanation and is utterly bewildering. That's kind of normal in some departments, so it just requires you to keep going and asking questions and just working through the process. Will be done in half the time if things are kept civil.
So the choice is up to you, guys. We'll leave it up to you. Here's Mark.
I'm leaving it up to you as well.
So we'd like to close the show with a few important points. Okay, always look on the bright side of life. It will all come good in the end. Don't cry over spilt milk. Here's Mark.
Well, I suppose the underlying theme to all the cliches is that a positive attitude and mindset will always work towards an outcome. So when you lose that positivity and desire to get the outcome, then clearly you won't. So it is about maintaining a positive attitude so that you can keep moving forward.
And the last thing, guys, look before you cross the road. Don't run straight across it. Otherwise, someone's going to come around the corner and go bang. And again, Mark to close the show with that.
Yep, so obviously any time you're near the roads, you need to be conscious of what's going on and, you know, look both ways before you decide to cross. Cross at an appropriate place. Cross where you can see the oncoming traffic coming. Don't cross it, the corner just around from where you could have seen it, but now you can't. So common sense needs to have some place, as well as all the standard rules.
So we'd like to close the show with that by saying thank you for joining us. And the number that we rely on 24 hours a day, you know what it is. I don't have to remind you, it is 000. Here's Mark to close the show with that, and when to call 000 and when not to. Kerry is now to wrap up our session and strap on with that.
Thanks, Barry. And you call 000 when you've got an emergency, and never for any other reason.
So if it's not broken, guys, don't fix it. Leave it until unless you've got a really critical emergency. And we will see you back at the studio to wrap episode 49 up. Until we see you again. Until we see you back at the studio. Thanks for joining us at Strap Point today. I'm Barry Field with Mark English. See you back at the studio to wrap it all up.
See you back there.
See you back there, guys. Bye-bye. Well, we hope that you've enjoyed today's episode of Out and About. Join us again on Monday. Here's Mark to tell you about what we did today.
Yeah, thanks, Barry. So, quick bit of organising this morning and getting things sorted for everyday living, and then a trip to Strathpine, and did a video there, and we've had a quick run around, did some shopping, and now we're back at the studios. So
Just to wrap it up.
exactly.
So we do hope that you've enjoyed today's episode of Out and About. This has been episode 49 today. Join us on Monday for episode 50. And just a couple of closing messages as always. Please do not, and we repeat, do not call 000 unless you have a time-critical emergency. Leave it alone. Here's Mark to tell you about the importance of leaving 000 alone.
Absolutely. Thanks, Barry. Yes, as we know, if you are pranking or misusing 000 and taking up their time, it means that those operators that are meant to be there for emergencies only are being distracted from their work, and that the time-critical nature of their business is interrupted by people using the service. And that means that the people that need it aren't getting it the way they should get it.
So don't be an absolute idiot with that number, guys. It is not worth the fine or jail time. Here's Mark.
Well, it just keeps coming back to, it just creates issues for the people that need the service as well as the people that run the service. And it doesn't provide any humour or value to anyone else.
So what we like to go over, okay, is just another closing message. Thank you so much for tuning in over the 49 episodes. Here is Mark.
so far. So
far.
exactly. So keep tuning in, and by all means, please give us feedback. Very keen for feedback. So if you could send us a message one way or another, that would be fantastic.
So the address is 23 Mundy Place, MUNDIE, not MUNDY. Just repeating that address again. It's 23 Mundy Place, Bray Park, Queensland 4500, and my mobile phone number is 0481 979 995. And that is just about all we've got time for Out and About. Join us again on Monday, Tuesday and Friday of next week. And here's Mark.
Yeah, we're looking forward to next week. We've got the 3 days to plan out, and hopefully we'll be able to take you somewhere new and show you something different.
And until then, have a great weekend all.
Absolutely. And safe weekend.
And bye for now.
Bye.